You know that feeling when your eyes just snap open in the middle of the night and you look at the clock and it's 3 a.m. Again. For the third night in a row. And you lie there wondering why this keeps happening to you. Well, if this sounds familiar, you need to hear what I'm about to tell you, because what's happening to you at 3 in the morning is not random, and it's definitely not just bad luck. Let me start by saying something that might surprise you. Waking up at 3 a.m. is one of the most common complaints I hear from people over 55. And here's the thing that most doctors won't tell you right away. It's almost never about not being tired enough. In fact, you probably fall asleep just fine when you first go to bed, don't you? You're exhausted. You crash around 10 or 11. Sleep feels amazing for those first few hours, and then boom, wide awake at 3. So what's really going on here? Your body is trying to tell you something, and I'm going to walk you through exactly what that message is, and more importantly, what you can do about it starting tonight. First, let's talk about your liver. Now I know that sounds strange. You're probably thinking, what does my liver have to do with waking up at 3 in the morning? But stay with me, because this is fascinating. In traditional Chinese medicine, they've known for thousands of years that different organs are more active during different times of the night. And between 1 and 3 a.m., your liver is doing some of its most important work. It's detoxifying your blood, processing everything you ate that day, breaking down hormones, filtering out toxins. When your liver is overworked or struggling, it can actually wake you up during this peak activity time. And here's what makes this even more relevant for people our age. As we get older, our liver doesn't process things quite as efficiently as it used to. That glass of wine with dinner that never bothered you at 40? At 60, your liver might still be working hard on it at 3 in the morning. That late-night snack, those medications you're taking, even stress hormones from a difficult day, all of this puts extra demand on your liver. But the liver is just one piece of the puzzle. Let's talk about what's probably the biggest culprit, and this one affects almost everyone over 50. Your cortisol levels. Cortisol is your stress hormone, but it's also the hormone that helps you wake up in the morning. In a healthy pattern, cortisol should be lowest at night when you're sleeping, and it should start rising in the early morning hours to help you wake up naturally. But here's what happens as we age, and especially if you're dealing with chronic stress. Your cortisol rhythm gets disrupted. Instead of that nice smooth curve where it's low at night and rises in the morning, you get these spikes. And one of the most common times for an abnormal cortisol spike? You guessed it. Between 2 and 4 a.m. When that cortisol suddenly surges, your body shifts from sleep mode into alert mode. Your blood sugar rises, your heart rate picks up slightly, your mind starts turning on, and you wake up. And once you're awake with elevated cortisol, falling back asleep becomes really difficult, because now you're in that activated state. You start thinking about everything you need to do tomorrow. You worry about why you can't sleep. You look at the clock and calculate how many hours you have left. And all of that mental activity, it raises your cortisol even more. It's a vicious cycle. Now let's add another layer to this. Blood sugar. This is huge, and almost nobody talks about it. When you eat dinner, especially if you eat carbohydrates or sugar, your blood sugar rises. Your pancreas releases insulin to bring it back down. But here's what happens several hours later, usually right around that 3 a.m. mark. Your blood sugar can drop too low, and when your blood sugar drops during sleep, your body sees this as an emergency. So what does it do? It releases adrenaline and cortisol to raise your blood sugar back up. And guess what those hormones do? They wake you up. This is especially common if you ate dinner early, or if you had a high-carb, low-protein dinner, or if you had something sweet before bed. Your body runs out of fuel in the middle of the night, and the alarm bells go off. Here's how you know if this might be your issue. When you wake up at 3 a.m., do you feel slightly anxious or jittery? Does your heart feel like it's beating a little faster? Do you maybe feel a tiny bit hungry even though you're not really hungry? Those are all signs of a blood sugar crash and the stress response that follows. Now, for women especially, we need to talk about hormones. If you're a woman over 50, you're likely in menopause or perimenopause. And the hormonal changes happening in your body have a massive impact on sleep. Estrogen helps regulate your sleep cycles and your body temperature. When estrogen levels drop, you're more likely to have disrupted sleep. Progesterone has a calming effect on the brain. When progesterone decreases, you lose some of that natural sedation. But here's the part that relates specifically to that 3 a.m. wake-up. As estrogen and progesterone decline, your ratio of cortisol to these calming hormones gets thrown off. You end up with relatively more cortisol and less of the hormones that would normally keep you calm and asleep. Add in night sweats or hot flashes that can happen during menopause, and you've got a perfect recipe for middle-of-the-night waking. Let's talk about your bladder for a moment, because I know some of you are thinking, well, I wake up because I need to use the bathroom. And yes, that's true for many people. But here's the question. Are you waking up because your bladder is full? Or is your bladder only moderately full, but you're awake for other reasons and then you notice you need to go? There's actually a big difference. If you're waking up due to cortisol or blood sugar or liver activity, you might be just conscious enough to notice your bladder and then you get up. But the bladder wasn't actually the root cause. Now, of course, if you're waking up with a truly urgent need to urinate multiple times a night, that's something else to discuss with your doctor. But for many people, the bladder is a secondary issue, not the primary one. Magnesium deficiency. This is another big one that gets overlooked. Magnesium is crucial for sleep. It helps calm your nervous system, it helps regulate cortisol, it helps your muscles relax. And guess what? Most people over 50 are deficient in magnesium. Our diets don't contain as much as they used to. Our ability to absorb it decreases with age, and many common medications actually deplete magnesium. When you're low in magnesium, your nervous system is more easily activated. You're more sensitive to stress. Your sleep is lighter and more fragile. And you're more likely to wake up in the middle of the night and have trouble falling back asleep. So now that you understand what's causing this, let's talk about what you can actually do about it. And I'm going to give you specific, actionable steps you can start tonight. First, let's address the blood sugar issue, because this one has the fastest results. You need to stabilize your blood sugar overnight. Here's how. Don't eat dinner too early. If you eat at 5 p.m. and go to bed at 10, that's a long time for your body to go without food. Try to eat a bit later, or have a small protein-based snack before bed. I'm talking about something like a handful of nuts, or a small piece of cheese, or a spoonful of almond butter. Protein digests slowly and keeps your blood sugar stable for hours. Also, look at what you're eating for dinner. If your dinner is mostly carbohydrates, pasta, bread, rice, potatoes, your blood sugar is going to spike and then crash. Try to balance your dinner with good protein and healthy fats. These digest more slowly and prevent that middle-of-the-night blood sugar drop. For the cortisol issue, you need to work on your stress levels during the day. I know that sounds simple, but it's crucial. High stress during the day leads to disrupted cortisol at night. Find ways to manage stress. It could be meditation, walking, deep breathing exercises, whatever works for you. But you need something because chronic stress will absolutely destroy your sleep. Also, and this is important, create a buffer zone between your day and your bedtime. Don't work right up until you go to bed. Don't watch stressful news right before sleep. Give yourself at least an hour to wind down. This helps your cortisol start dropping naturally. Magnesium supplementation can be incredibly helpful. Talk to your doctor about trying magnesium glycinate before bed. This form is well absorbed and specifically helpful for sleep. Most people notice a difference within a few days. Your muscles relax more, your mind quiets down, and your sleep becomes more solid. To support your liver, try to avoid alcohol, especially in the evening. I know that's not what you want to hear, but alcohol really does disrupt sleep architecture and makes your liver work overtime. If you do drink, try to finish at least 3 to 4 hours before bed. Also, consider taking a good quality milk thistle supplement, which supports liver function. Keep your bedroom cool. This helps with temperature regulation, especially if you're dealing with menopausal changes. A cool room promotes deeper sleep. Use layers of blankets so you can adjust easily if you get too warm. Here's something that really helps. If you do wake up at 3 a.m., don't look at the clock. Seriously, don't do it. Looking at the clock and calculating how much sleep you're losing only activates your mind and raises your stress. Just keep your eyes closed and focus on slow, deep breathing. In through your nose for 4 counts, out through your mouth for 6 counts. This activates your parasympathetic nervous system and helps you drift back to sleep. And don't lie there awake for more than 20 minutes. If you're truly wide awake and your mind is racing, get up. Go to another room, keep the lights very dim, do something quiet and boring. Read something unstimulating. Then when you feel sleepy again, go back to bed. Lying in bed awake just trains your brain that the bed is a place for being awake. One more thing that can make a real difference: exposure to morning sunlight. Get outside within an hour of waking up and get some natural light on your face. This helps reset your circadian rhythm and improves your cortisol pattern. Better cortisol rhythm during the day means better sleep at night. The bottom line is this: waking up at 3 a.m. is not something you just have to live with. It's your body's way of telling you something is out of balance. For most people over 50, it's a combination of blood sugar regulation, cortisol disruption, and hormonal changes. All of these are things you can influence with the right approach. Start with the easiest changes tonight. Have a small protein snack before bed. Take some magnesium. Keep your room cool. Cut off the screens an hour before sleep. See how you feel after a week. Then layer in the other strategies. Better stress management during the day. Morning sunlight exposure. Supporting your liver health. Your sleep matters more than almost anything else for your health. Poor sleep affects your immune system, your heart, your brain, your mood, your weight, everything. So this is worth taking seriously and worth putting in the effort to fix. You deserve to sleep through the night. Your body knows how to do this. You just need to give it the right conditions and remove the obstacles that are waking you up.